Hey friends, Lucian here with the Bullish Bears team, making this video on Bollinger Bands. Try to make it simplified. I'm not going to go into a big long definition on Bollinger Bands. It's just very simply put, a visual of basically showing you when a stock is overbought or when it's oversold. So it's basically a visual footprint that you'd liken to basically RSI. Some people like to have RSI or relative strength index on their screen. So they'll have it like as an indicator down here to show you when a stock is overbought or oversold. If you're not familiar with overbought and or oversold, when a stock is overbought, that means it's really raising high to a place of potential resistance where the sellers want to sell and take a profit. So when the stock goes up, people want to like take profits at an overbought area. And oversold is when a stock is really selling off and the buyers want to come in and buy it. So, some people again like RSI or relative strength index. And other people like to have Bollinger Bands. Again, I'm more of a day trader or an intraday trader, so I personally like to have the Bollinger Bands on my chart because it takes up less real estate space and it just gives me a visual of seeing basically when the stocks when the candlesticks, start to come outside of the bands and the bands widen like this, you see, like, for instance, right here, this is the pre-market here, but you'll see candlesticks way outside above a big wide band. So naturally, it's going to want to pull back. Right here, I have the 13 EMA on my 3-minute chart. So naturally, when a stock gets overbought, it wants to pull back to the EMAs. And hence the other side of things, when a stock gets oversold outside of the Bollinger Bands, it's going to want to naturally pull back. So I'm just going to go through just a few stocks, just show you just some of the different ways in the visuals on seeing what Bollinger Bands look like. I'll put it on a couple different time frames as well, but just to basically show you, this is a visual. Candlesticks are above, far away from the EMAs. What happens? It naturally wants to pull back. When, the Bollinger Bands kind of go to the side and they're not very wide, it kind of means like the stock is kind of trading sideways, which you'll see here at price action was just kind of trading, kind of basically in the middle and trading sideways. Let's take a few that we're running here today. WAT, you'll see here on the 3-minute, you'll see prices going up. Right when it got above here, you'll see how wide the Bollinger Bands are here. Got outside, and what's it want to do? It naturally wants to pull right back down. And the 13 EMA is kind of like an equilibrium. So basically when, you want to watch price action around the 13 EMA, see if it bounces back up or if it falls back down. So you'll see, again, overbought, pulled right back down to the EMAs. Now you don't necessarily know when exactly it's going to happen, and it's all a matter of your time frame. This is the 3-minute. You can put it on the 1-minute. You can put it on the daily. You could put it on the 5-minute. It's all a matter of your preference and trading style. I like to kind of have it when day trading, kind of like on the 3 or the 5-minute, because it kind of gives me an idea of where the stock's at on a little bit longer of a time frame than just the 1-minute. Sometimes I have it on the 1-minute as well if I'm just going for a quick scalp. But again, it's all a matter of preference. Let's look at a few more here. I'm just picking some random ones here. It's during the middle of the day during the market here. So, just kind of basically just going to look and just see what pops up. As you can see here, IMMU on the 3-minute, you see once it gets outside of the Bollinger Bands, it wants to pull back, but it doesn't do it right away. Sometimes it'll get it. You'll see in a green candlestick right here that, it's outside of the Bollinger Bands, but it didn't pull back yet. Sometimes it's got to do a couple candlesticks before it'll pull back, but it just shows you again there. It comes up, comes back down to the 13 EMA, and then it's kind of going to the side. So the Bollinger Bands, once they get wider like this, it's an extreme. And stocks, basically, when a stock gets overbought or oversold, it's like a rubber band. It wants to snap back to equilibrium. And equilibrium would be basically, like you're seeing here, the 13 EMA, or depending on what moving averages that you're looking at. I like to use the 13 because it's between the 9 and the 20. So it gives a really good equilibrium. And as you can see, it kind of just trades sideways until it's either going to go up or down again. But it's all about a rubber band. So think of this like a rubber band. When price gets too far stretched, it wants to snap back. I'll show you some ones as well ones that are oversold as well. We'll just look at some of the ones that were overbought today. And sometimes you'll see price, the bands will stay kind of thin, but they'll go up as well. So you'll see with price right here, price is actually just kind of just riding this 13 EMA today. So you'll see the bands don't get really too wide. So price is staying within the bands and riding that 13 EMA on the way up. So that's ones that's just kind of basically showing you stocks going up and it's, it's just running steady. Let's look at this one here, HMNY. So these ones had big wide bands, but price stayed within the bands, except for in the pre-market here, where it snapped back down during market hours. Let's take a look at a few more. IDXG. So you'll see here when the market opened, kind of the bands not as wide as pre-market. They kind of went small, a little bit smaller, but then again, price went up again, and you'll see right at resistance area in the pre-market, kind of snaps back down, and then it kind of just kind of fades. Let's go to a couple that were selling off and see. So you'll see here, not huge. Again, yeah, the bands are kind of a little bit wider here, and you'll see price came down, got outside of the Bollinger Bands here on the way down, and what's it do? It kind of wants to snap back to the 13 EMA, bounced off, kind of faded down again, and so that's basically a bear flag, and then price started kind of going to the side again. You'll see here, price kind of sold off again. Not too much of an extreme, but again, it came outside of the Bollinger Bands. What's it want to do? Snaps back, starts to fade, and now it's falling down by the 13 EMA. So again, think of it as a visual rubber band. When a stock falls, it wants to snap back. When it goes up, it wants to snap back. And this 13 EMA line is really just a great indicator, for equilibrium. Let's see if we see a couple more here. Here's one here, XPLR, you'll see right here. Kind of falls down, right, finds a base right here. Doji candle, snaps back to the 13 EMA. So you see, when the stock gets overbought and oversold, it just basically just like a rubber band, snaps back and forth. And again, this can all be done on different time frames. So you can see, I'll put it on the daily for right now, just to kind of give you a visual. I'll add Bollinger Bands here. Okay, we'll apply it here. I'm going to double click. I always take off the midline. I just leave the upper and lower band. So you'll see lower band and upper band. But I kind of, I don't have the midline. So I'll just add this on here. And you'll see they're different colors right now, but the purpose really just means the same. Basically you'll see here, look at the stock here, NAP on the daily, as it started to fall, it's outside of the Bollinger Bands. And you'll see it's creating some support area here. You're going to see if it's either going to fall here or if it's going to want to snap back. This is the 13 EMA on the daily. This right here is the 13 EMA on the 3 minute. So this is more intraday. This is on the daily. So for those that want to swing trade or do a little bit longer trades, it's again, you might want to have it on your chart like this on the daily. I don't use it again on the daily. I just use it more intraday. But just to show you again, so these are the EMA lines here, not to be confused. Just look at the upper and lower bands. So let's take a look at a few more here. ARCI, you'll see that these ones right here, here's the bands right here, price broke out of it. So you'll see two candlesticks right here, boom, boom. They're right outside of the, above the upper band, and you'll see it's at a yearly high. So once it's at a yearly high, you'll start to see it's going to want to snap back. It might do it today, it might do it a day or two from now, but you'll see it's already starting to form basically a red candlestick because it went up to resistance. It was overbought and wants to snap back down more to equilibrium because it's way outside the Bollinger Bands. Let's look at a couple more here. You'll see right here, RT on the daily, it's been kind of within the band. So this has kind of just been going to the side. It's not really doing much of anything. It's kind of going, again, trading sideways. Down here, you'll see it was outside of the Bollinger Bands, what did it want to do? Kind of snap back to the 13 EMA. So it's all, again, oversold, and then when it's out of the bands, overbought. WATT, here's one right here, been totally falling. Look at this one, really fading. These bands are kind of wide, and price is like hovering outside of it. At some point, it might want to turn around and go back up. And you'll see prices starting to move back in within the two upper band, or within the lower band. Here's the upper band up here. These, again, are the moving averages inside of it. Let's take a look at a couple more. So glue, GLUU, starting to spread the price band. It's above the upper band. So this is something you want to keep an eye on, and you'll see, like right here, it's at yearly highs. So it might, there's no real resistance right now overhead, so it might keep going up, but at some point it's going to want to snap back down. The 13 EMA on the daily is more of, again, the equilibrium if you're doing more swing trading or a little bit longer trading. So when a price goes up, it wants to snap back down to the 13 EMA. You know, same thing with the 3-minute or the 5-minute. So again, it's just really a visual of overbought and oversold. Some people love Bollinger Bands, and some people just really love, you know, RSI. And then there's other people that just really don't like any type of indicators. I'm actually just putting my chart back here. Let me go here, back to momentum. Here, I have my chart set up specifically. So here we go. I'm very particular, obviously, when doing my trading. So again, it's just a visual rubber band like of showing areas of support in it and resistance. And again, when trading, indicators sometimes could be analysis paralysis if you have too many of them. So that's why you just got to kind of figure out what you're most comfortable with and what indicators work best for you. There's not necessarily a right or a wrong way. Some people love a ton of indicators, some like none at all. What's most important is really support and resistance, but that's where you got to put everything together. I'm just making this video specifically on Bollinger Bands only.